I want to talk about the 10 reasons why most people that make a lot of money stay poor. Why do they stay poor? When at the same time, people that make far less than them create financial security. Why do some people, in fact, the majority of people that go from one level to another level, why do they stay relatively poor? In other words, no financial security. Why does that happen? It's like a phenomenon. And here's how it happens. I mean, obviously, we know the usual suspects, and that's probably what you think this is about, but it's not. The wine women's song, the gambling, the drugs, alcohol, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that affects some people, and it will wipe you out financially. I'm talking about the people that don't have that going on, but they're still really not getting ahead financially. They're not getting financially free. They're not building wealth. And I feel like number one is no proactive tax planning. Either they don't know where to go to really set down before they earn the income, earn the income, set down and plan out deductions, tax shelters, all that kind of thing before the money is earned. So what happens is they end up getting behind on taxes. This happens all the time to realtors, a lot of athletes, salespeople that go from here up to the top on an income side. Taxes crush them. And a lot of them never get out of it. Like they just keep repeating that cycle year after year. So they don't have any proactive tax plan in place that says when this money comes in, I've already built a tax plan to control these taxes. The IRS is like a credit card company. In other words, they just laugh when somebody goes and makes a bunch of money with no planning whatsoever, and they just take them to the cleaners when it comes to tax. They don't not only charge them half or more of their income, at the same time, then they start tacking on all kinds of fees and everything. I've been there. Like when I first got into business, I had this problem. I know firsthand, and it's ugly. If you don't break that and start getting very proactive about taxes, you can never build real financial freedom. Number two, they just shop till they drop. They can't make the money fast enough. And I know it's super fun. It is super fun to have money when you haven't had money and you want to just buy the coolest cars, coolest houses, coolest everything. I know, it's fun. The problem is it's sometimes addictive. And the false assumption is that the money will come in like that forever. And as we all know, especially in this world, things can change overnight. And I don't want to sound like, your grandparents or whatever, but you do have to put some back for a rainy day, and you're never going to build security living on every dollar, or even charging even beyond that. And this shop till you drop in today's world, it's hard to say no to a lot of things. One way I have seen and actually used in my life that works is this. Pick a few things that you're willing to really go all in, but not everything. You want a nice wardrobe? Get a great wardrobe. You want this nice car, whatever? Get that. Don't get everything. Choose one or two things to splurge like there's no tomorrow, but just don't get everything. That leaves plenty of money to go invest, to take care of things in a wise way. Number three, they always are going to get started investing tomorrow. They're like the person waiting to go to the gym till January. Tomorrow I'll get to it. And I'll tell you something. I know a lot of people that started with next to nothing that are very wealthy at this point in time. And you know what it is? They just developed a habit of putting X amount back. And we all need that. It's like going to the gym again. It's like doing anything that in the beginning it's a little bit uncomfortable, and you can start anywhere. Any amount of money, just put it into something. Best case scenario is get into something that's not that liquid. You put money into it and then set it up on an automatic. And after a very short amount of time, usually a few months, you're upgrading. You're putting more and more in. Why? Because it's all about a system. So we'll invest tomorrow. We'll get to that tomorrow. You know what? A lot of people go all the way through their career, make a ton of money, and then end up bankrupt or very messed up financially at the end. They might even be paying bills at that, paying debt at that point, even though they've made a ton. I was talking to somebody a while back, and they said that a very, very well-known realtor who had made millions of dollars, millions, in one of the most expensive markets in the country, that the lady's husband, she had retired, the lady's husband was working Uber and picked them up at the airport. They knew him. That was her husband. They knew who it was. Crazy. If she would have just put a little bit of money into investments, built up some different things, that did not, and I'm not talking that the husband was young. He was, well past retirement age, and he was doing it just to pay bills. Crazy. Again, didn't have an investment program in place, thought the money would come in forever. Forever. It never does. It never does. When you're trading time for money, you always got to act as if it's going to end tomorrow and invest accordingly. Number 4, all hat, no cattle. In other words, this kind of goes with shop till you drop and I'll invest tomorrow, all that kind of stuff. All hat, no cattle, you're full of shit. You're trying to impress people that aren't impressed. And it's goofy. Some of the wealthiest people I know, if they walked right by, you wouldn't even know it. They're not trying to impress anybody anymore. But you know what? There was a time in a lot of their lives where they were. They were. And they grew out of that. They saw how stupid that was. In fact, it actually makes a lot of people dislike you when you are trying to impress them, and it's just ugly. Number 5, I see this all the time, especially people that I've worked with when they just started making quite a bit of money. And it's what I always call success drunk. In other words, drunk on your own success. Like you've always made this much and now you're making so much money, you don't even know what's going on. And you're buying, it's like Peyton Manning always says, like you're reading your own headlines. You're all up in, oh my God, you're the greatest thing ever. And you're going to blow a bunch of money. You're going to do things you've never done, and that's fine. But just know you're in the situation that you've got to come out of that if you ever want to build financial security. One of the things about making quite a bit of money is everybody that's on your team, your family members, and if you own a business, your employees, everybody's on it with you. The risk you're taking and everything, they're in it with you. And a lot of them don't realize how much risk there is. As the income escalates, usually the risk goes up with it, right? You don't make, millions of dollars working at McDonald's. You might owning McDonald's multiple, but not working there doing fries, right? So there's more risk as you go up the ladder, and there's, the success drunk, you got to come out of that at some point, or you're doomed to be like that realtor and having her husband have to work Uber long after her crazy great career had ended. And then finally, I'm going to throw in a few others. These are just the normal ones that people always think of: drugs, alcohol, gambling, relationships that you shouldn't be in. All those can bankrupt you overnight. I don't care what you make. But bottom line is, a lot of these, in fact, all of these, you can correct. And when you correct these and go the opposite way on each one, guess what? Getting wealthy is not that hard. A lot of times it's just one or two of these things. Might be the taxes. You don't have a tax plan. You're just making a bunch of money and giving it all to the government all the time. That's no way to live. I have people I work with and know that make literally tens of millions a year that don't pay any taxes. It's not because they're tax cheats. It's because they pre-plan everything before they make the money and use the tax code to offset that income so that they don't give it all away. They don't work like crazy to give it all away. So that's, taxes always clean up people if they do not get proactive. And, you know, everybody says they're, you know, the 87,000 new agents, all this. That's the truth. Like, who knows what's going to come down the future? But you can't live in fear. You've got to get proactive and, you know, do your best to control the taxes. And going back through the list, shop until you drop, pick one or two things that you're going to splurge on and invest the rest. Like, enjoy your life, but don't be just a blowhard. Number 3, invest tomorrow. Start something today. Get invested in anything. Start as, it isn't even the amount, it's the habit that you want to start. That you're investing. You're not investing tomorrow. You're not putting it off another day, which becomes a year, which becomes a decade. You're doing it right now. All hat, no cattle. Well, if you start investing, you will actually start having things to show for your success. Success drunk, a lot of times that cures itself. You get tired of your own bullshit. If you don't, you're going to retire either broke, or you're going to have a fraction, like a tiny fraction of what you should have based on your success level. So get through that, get over that. And then the drugs, alcohol, gambling, relationship, all that kind of stuff, you know what you need to do. Don't do it. If you can do some of it have a little fun with it, that's fine. But do not get lost in those traps, because they will take your money quicker than you know. So anyway, hope this helps. This was the 10 reasons why people that make a lot of money in income stay poor. Hope you enjoyed it.